Did you have to do that into the camera?
What?
Your tongue went like...
Did it really?
Like curled back and then went back down.
Now I'm going to be self-conscious every time I yawn.
Good. That's what you get for doing it into the camera.
Hold on, I have another one coming now. I felt my tongue move. Okay. Welcome back to the Intersint podcast. This is episode 43.
I was not expecting you to start it like that. Okay.
This has been a sleepy day so far.
I took a nap right before record. I was having breakfast. I laid back down because I was watching a show and grabbed my cushion, like pillow. And then next thing I knew, I was waking up to the show ending. And I'm like, oh, damn it.
Now I got to go back and watch all that over again.
Well, I paused it and then I just went back to take the
Whoa.
I went back to finish my nap because we were recording soon. So I was like, you know what? I'll just sleep until like it's right before I can record.
You jumped on the call with your hair just all over the place and just like, what is going on with you?
Are you okay?
So now I'm yawning nonstop before we're even recording.
Stop doing that in front of me.
I'm tired.
Face the other way.
It's one of those things that now being back from vacation, I am just so not motivated to do anything.
I don't want to do anything at all.
It's like, I just want to just keep not working, but still getting paid.
Can I just have money?
It's just, someone keeps sending me money so I can just do nothing all day.
We should get sugar daddies.
There you go. I guess, well, for me, it'd be sugar mummies? Mama? What is that anyways? That's just like a rich person paying you
to do something. It doesn't necessarily have to be like intimacy.
What else is there then?
Companionship.
Oh, just like
somebody just being there talking to you. I will pay you to talk to me.
I can do that.
I will do that.
Any ladies out there who just need someone to talk to?
Any sugar daddies out there?
Oh, jeez. There's our engagement. I mean, yeah. I've heard about girls who do like the whole, what is it, like the girlfriend
sugar baby
experience or something like that?
Experience?
Or something. It's like, from what I understand, it's girls who just, you pay the girl and she pretends to be your girlfriend.
Okay.
Like I think you pay for these packages and like is like, she'll text you good morning in the morning and like.
That makes sense. I've seen those too.
I'm like, that's an easy way to make money, but kind of sad way of making money at the same time.
Yeah.
Hey, now with AI, you can program a robot to do all the texting for you.
Yeah. Again, AI is taking that job too now.
taking all the sugar daddy's jobs. That's a great. I didn't think about that.
What?
We get a sugar daddy who I don't want the sugar daddy. I want the sugar mom.
Okay.
And we just find people who are like, yeah, we just need someone to talk to. And then we just program an AI bot to just talk to them.
True. And then get the money from it.
Yeah, that's our job without working.
Let's copyright that and table that and invent it later.
Yes. The amount of ideas we've come up with that we're never going to actually pull through on.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't even know where to start with AI. Like, these companies that are just making new shit, it's like, where do you even start with that?
Yeah.
I want to be that smart.
Well, I guess it's not really about like the smartness. It's having like the idea and then a team to put it together.
But you got to be smart to understand what you need to do that stuff.
That's true.
Yeah, that's usually the first step in starting a business.
Having a brain.
Hey, just Google it.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, we're both in lazy mode. So going back to work is going to be a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. So it's been snowing this past week. Stop!
I needed a yawn.
Can you face the other way?
It looks like I am facing away, but I guess this is like direct line of sight for the camera.
But it's been snowing here this past week. And with taking care of Rex, the dog. I've been at your place because he's been like lonely. So I just want to like make sure he's like not completely ripped away from his routine.
Right.
So I would stay there for a couple hours and go to work because I usually start at 7. But technically, I've been working from home at 7 and then going in at 10. So on Monday, when I have to be in at 7, I will feel so lazy, feel so sleepy. I don't want to do anything.
It's going to be like right before this podcast, you're going to take a nap in your car and wake up at like 9.
Oopsies.
I'm here, guys. I've been working from my car. That's why I feel like I wouldn't say even work from home. Like if it was ever the case where we were just getting paid to do pretty much nothing and you got to just live your life, I feel like mine would just be playing video games and sleeping. I would never do anything else.
Yeah, honestly. For me, it'd be like doing anything but working.
Yeah, just travel. Pretty much you're pretty much like homeless, but not.
A nomad.
Yeah. Do you remember back whenever the whole thing like of the digital nomad stuff was big?
Yeah. I kind of wish I took advantage of that.
But at the same time, I think it's all just a scam, right?
I guess? I don't know. I think it's just like you'd have to be lucky to find a company that's legit to actually do it.
I think it's just that whole Ty Lopez. Do you remember that guy?
Barely.
Here in my garage with my Lamborghini.
Yeah, that guy.
I feel like that's the whole thing behind the digital nomad thing of like, oh, pay us to learn how to do this course. And at the end of the day, it's just like the grift is you're just paying someone so they can be rich and not have to work. And then you don't actually learn anything in the end of it.
But then that quickly died out as well.
That is true. I guess I don't see ads like that anymore.
Yeah.
Because a big part of it was that, Amazon, what's the name of that?
Drop shipping?
Yeah, drop shipping. Thank you. That was like the second phase of that was like, we're going to teach you how to do drop shipping.
Yeah. And then everybody started doing drop shipping and it's just like, I don't want to get caught in that.
You know who CoffeeZilla is, right?
Yeah.
He did this one piece on this OnlyFans influencer person who was teaching you how to be the top 1% in OnlyFans or something like that.
Okay.
And he brought up a good point that I never thought about, but he's like, if someone's making a course to teach you how to be great at that thing is already dead. And that's why they're making the course to get more money out of it.
Oh, that makes sense. And I did hear about that, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a great way to think about that. So every time I see like the drop shipping thing, I'm like, yeah, it's already a dead market.
Yep. And it's funny because like even back in like 2020 when lockdown was happening, people were doing that. And I'd see like people on Instagram and like Facebook when I had it active at the time do the whole drop shipping thing. And now they don't even post. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. But then it's like, there's really no need for things anymore online now that stores have opened.
That's another thing is like, I don't know if this was pre-quarantine or anything, but I've been trying to find a belt. Stores just don't carry belts anymore.
I guess they really don't.
Do you remember back in the day of like...
There used to be like a separate section for belts.
Yeah, like Hot Topic, for an example, used to literally just have a section of all these different belts you can have.
Yeah.
Spencer's, American Eagle, Hollister, all these places had a belt section.
Belts, yeah.
You cannot find a single belt anymore.
I wonder why.
Where's the belt market?
Because it's like way back in the day, girls used to wear belts too.
I think they still wear belts, right? No?
Not really, no.
Oh. I only specifically remember from like the punk scene, like the girls would have the spiked belts.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
That's all I really remember too. But then like it was also those, I don't know what you would say it like called them as, but like the popular crowd would wear like leather belts.
I don't remember that at all.
We went to different schools.
We did, yes.
So what I remember was like the brown, very thin leather belt that girls would wear with flare jeans. And those are gone. Because even like you said, in Hollister, you don't even find like a belt section anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, especially with women, how like pants are being more contoured for each shape.
True.
Like it's not just a standard shape now for jeans.
Yeah.
And it's like, it comes in so many different sizes now that you don't really need a belt.
I guess. Even whenever I have like smaller pants, I still
wore a belt.
Like you still need that extra support just in case.
Do you?
I feel like it. Like, I feel like if I don't have a belt, there's still that, like, I don't know, it feels like your pants are still kind of coming down, even though they're probably not. I don't know.
I mean, that's probably the case for guys, just because it's like, it's supposed to be baggy.
But like, you've even been with me, and we went to so many different stores looking for belts, and all we could find was like business leather belts that I'm like,
that like the Gen X would wear.
Yeah, I'm like, no, this is ugly. I don't want this. So I'm pretty much just wearing mine until it breaks completely because it's on the verge of doing that. I'm like, I need to find a new belt immediately.
Yeah, maybe look online, see if there's anything online.
But I'm trying to avoid like shopping online. I want to go to a physical store and look around at different things.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just life now. Everything is just online.
As long as they have like an adequate return policy.
Yes, I know you know all about the return policy.
Well, I mean, for clothing especially, you'd kind of need that.
But that's like, even with last night, we did a spontaneous, you came and got me. We went up to the stores.
No, yeah. Because I needed a new bag for work. So I was like, I'm going to head up north anyway. You're on the way there. If you want to come with, just let me know and I'll come get you. And I guess you didn't have anything better to do. So you're just like, yeah, why not?
I had plenty to do. I just had no
You
mood.
could have said something then.
I didn't want to do anything. So when you're like, hey, do you want to go? I'm like, this gets me out of my responsibilities. Yeah, I'll
go. Wow.
So we get there and they're like, they didn't have the thing you thought they did.
No.
So they had to order it online for you at the store.
Mm-hmm.
Which then goes to prove that just like, it would have been just easier for it to order it online in the first place and not even think about it.
Yeah. The only reason I went up there was to see how it looked like.
Ah, okay.
Like in person.
That makes sense. But that's pretty much like all stores are becoming anyways.
Yeah.
Stores are just becoming the thing of you just go there to see what it looks like and then you leave and go buy it somewhere else.
But to be fair, I was looking at the receipt and I was looking at it online. I would have paid $30 more online if I bought it myself online than if I did that in store. So I guess I saved money.
But that's like with the Best Buy. Like, does anyone really buy anything from Best Buy? I feel like Best Buy is just a testing ground for all the new tech.
I did.
What do you buy?
I bought my TV. I bought my monitors.
Wow. I don't think I've ever bought anything from Best Buy. I go there to play with the stuff and then I leave and go find it cheaper somewhere else.
I think for me, Best Buy has been the cheapest. That's why I get it from there.
How did we survive pre-internet trying to shop?
I guess there were just more stores that were available.
More stores, or was it just you just buy what the store has and you don't complain?
Well, then again, it's like now that you have every store that's not even in your state online and you can shop around and compare, that makes it harder to make a decision. Whereas like if you were just to go to a store that was like down the street or whatever, it was like, this is the only thing that's available, I'll get this.
That's what I mean, yeah. You can't be picky when you don't have options.
But then it was like, there were 5 different stores for a thing that you could go check out as well.
What do you mean?
Like, for us at least, it was like Radio Shack, Circuit City, and Fry's. Like, you could just go around and compare stuff there.
I forgot about Circuit City.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot that was even a store. Wow. I do remember Radio Shack. I was in Radio Shack all the time, looking at all this stuff.
Every time I went to the mall, the first store I would go to is Radio Shack, or was Radio Shack.
Look at all the stuff and all the cool things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember Circuit City. That's how I got one of my external hard drives.
Ah, okay.
They had a 2 terabyte external for like $20 because they were going out of business. I'm like, all right.
Yep.
I'll take this.
They were going out of business as we were moving here. And so we were like just looking around and everything we wanted was like either sold out or big enough that we couldn't carry back with us in the car. So just like, fuck it.
Just a team effort of the entire family just dragging this giant ass thing to the car.
Pretty much. Do you remember, and I don't know if your family did this, but like had like a giant section in the house just for like the stereo system?
Well, yeah, it was just in the living room. It was the big ass TV that was way too deep and like took 10 people to carry.
That, but then like for audio, like just audio. Because like we had like a little like cassette player thing, but it was like this giant thing. And below that, it was just another set of like different controls to control that cassette player.
Oh, I think my dad had one of those things.
Here, I want to put this online, so I'll find it.
Yeah, that was like the classic. Like every parent had at least one of these things.
Yep.
Like I'm looking at I remember the second one down from the top for sure.
Yeah, we had that.
Don't know about anything else because I specifically remember the equalizer sliders.
Yes.
And as a kid, I'd like start messing with my dad's like, no, I just spent forever trying to get the sound right.
I remember the second one up from the bottom and then the third one up from the bottom. Like those two we definitely had.
The third one up from the bottom is the second one from the top.
Well, I'm going from the bottom.
What is the very, very bottom one? Is that a VCR?
That
No.
looks like it.
DVD.
Oh, it's a converter system.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that does.
Millennials try to understand Gen X technology.
Even though we remember it.
I just remember moving dials and moving knobs.
My parents put it like halfway up on like, we had like this giant shelf that was built in our apartment. And so my parents put it at the very top so we couldn't touch it.
That sounds right.
Stop yawning.
I'm going to be yawning a lot this episode. I'm tired. You know, I was feeling fine until you're like, oh yeah, I took a nap. And then now it makes me think like,
blame
oh,
me.
I want a nap.
Don't blame me.
It's crazy too with that old technology too, like the boom boxes and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want one.
Did you ever have like a portable CD player?
Like a Walkman? Or like the boombox thing?
Like something like here.
Yeah, I had that.
It's so crazy to think like this is how we used to listen to music all the time.
Yep.
Going for a road trip with the family or going somewhere on a long distance drive, you had to make sure you had your CD player and then a stack of CDs you were carrying with you to change out because you listened to the same CD about 5 times. And then you're like, okay, I need to switch to a new one.
This is what we had.
Oh, yeah. I think we had something similar to that too.
Yeah. I think every millennial or Gen X parent had that.
Yeah, it's the
boomer parent.
boombox with the CD player thing on top.
Mine had like the antenna that flipped up, and then when you were done, you like shove it back down and like put it in its little holder thing.
Yep, I remember that too. I remember like visiting grandparents, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna watch some of the home movies and memories and stuff," and it was all silent and like no color and
oh, really?
And I was like, "This is boring."
You guys were entertained by this?
You have to like give your own commentary while you're talking to be the sound. And now we control all this with our phone.
Whoa. No, now the phone controls us.
That is true. It's always listening.
Yes. I feel like now, like, because we're talking about shopping, so now it's just like with shortages now.
You're having so much trouble getting through one sentence of what you want to say.
Okay, listen. I'm pulling up this article and I see like, because you know how like in articles it's like they have like video ads.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing one. It's just flashing all bright neon colors, and it's for a casino, and I'm just like, my eyes just keep gravitating towards that, and I'm like, oh, what's this?
It's quite literally the shiny like it's keys in front of your face.
Pretty much. Like, I'm not even there. Why are you showing me a casino in Pennsylvania?
I think it has to do with the story you're talking about, right?
It does, yeah. So because of the egg shortage, and it's not just in Pennsylvania, it's been all over the country, of like how people are going into farms and stealing eggs.
Yeah, if prices are too high, that's the best way to start doing it.
I guess. I mean, we should go back to like the whole Stardew thing and just start raising chickens.
According to the video game, all I have to do is just pet you and give you hay every single day, and you're going to give me an egg.
Anyway, so according to this, which I don't know if you know where this is.
No, I don't.
Okay. But 100,000 eggs were stolen from a Pennsylvania organic farm. And it's a very short article just saying how much it's worth.
$40,000.
$40,000.
But that comes down to 40 cents an egg, which I guess doesn't seem like much.
No, but then if you see how much they're charging for eggs at the store.
Well, how much are eggs right now? Do you know?
I've seen it upwards to be $6 for a dozen eggs.
Okay, so 40 cents an egg puts you at $4.80. So that's not even that high of a profit window.
No, but then it's like everybody gets eggs.
That is true.
So they can afford to like lower the price, I feel like.
I haven't bought eggs recently. Is it really like, because every time I hear about the egg thing, it's always like, oh my God, this is catastrophic egg prices. And I go to the store, I'm like, what? This not that bad.
I mean, compared to $1.99 you would pay.
Yeah, but that's, I get that. But at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, back in the day, gas used to be $1. Yeah, everything was cheaper back in the day. Even everything was cheaper 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, even in 2020, things were cheaper.
Well, yeah, because no one was working.
Exactly.
Let's go back to that time.
Can we please?
I love how this is the state we're in now, where back in the old times, Gen X boomers, it was people robbing banks for money. Now we're just robbing stores for eggs or farms. That's how desperate we've become. We're like, we don't even care about the money. We just need the food.
We just need to survive.
And of course, it's Pennsylvania too.
What do you mean?
It's just that tracks for like.
How so? Because we have Florida Man. So what's special about Pennsylvania?
In every single movie, in every single show, when they try to represent Pennsylvania, it is always backcountry, broken down house rednecks that are gonna like capture you and torture you in their basement.
Is that true?
No. There's a movie, I think I have it on the list for you to watch. It's called Mirrors.
Okay.
And they go to Pennsylvania because they're like, oh, we got to go to Pennsylvania to figure this out. And that's exactly the people. It's like the dirty, teeth missing, rundown clothes, living in a shack people.
A redneck.
It's like, why is this the representation of Pennsylvania all the time?
Oh.
I don't think that's accurate really anywhere. No, okay, I lied. There are places like that, but it's not. It's not the entire state. It's like for San Francisco or California, you always have the uppity,
valley,
stuck up people, and I'm like, that tracks because that's pretty much all of California.
Not really.
How not really? It depends. If you're like more southern, then you have the chill hippie Californian.
Yeah, you have like the valley accent. You have like the hey surfer dudes type of people. Go up north into between LA and San Francisco. It's the old rich people who go there to retire.
Yes.
The San Francisco area is like all tech bros, which didn't used to be.
Yes.
We were all just open, chill people.
Yeah, and that tracks for what they show in movies and shows.
The chill people or the tech bros?
All of it.
I feel like it's because California is a more well-known state. Like everybody knows California.
That is very true.
So if you see that, it's like, oh, okay, that tracks. Meanwhile, if say like nobody knows what Iowa looks like.
Yeah, you're not okay. Yeah.
No one really goes to Iowa. You could just make up something, and people would think, oh, okay, yeah, that seems accurate. Sure, why not?
Our old accountant lady at the office we worked at, she was from Montana, and when she told us,
yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I'm from Montana." I'm like, "Does anyone even live from Montana?" Like, I think you're lying to me right now. People don't live there. And she got so offended that I said that.
It's funny because the people who were in the row in front of us on the plane to Hawaii, they're from Montana.
Do they have the accent?
Not really, no.
Oh, interesting.
But then it's like you think about like North Dakota. Who lives in North Dakota?
Exactly. Especially like the north of North Dakota.
Like towards the border?
Yeah, where it gets to like -60 in the winters and stuff. Like, who is living up in that?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you could just come up with anything and people would just believe it.
Yeah, I can meet someone new and say, "Oh, I'm from Montana," and I make up just all these random facts, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds about right."
It reminds me of that one thing I sent you of like people in Pittsburgh are so weird because they eat pizza so weird because the dough and the cheese are warm, but all the toppings are cold.
What?
And And I sent that to you, and I'm just like, is this true?
Is this what people do?
do you people eat pizza like this?
I don't know what that is on about, but no, I've never seen that.
So I've looked at the comments, and because it showed up again, like not even 2 days ago.
Oh.
And apparently it's a pizza shop in Ohio that does that brought it over to Pittsburgh. And it's literally only one restaurant that does it in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that makes more sense then. I honestly miss the amount of pizza options from Pittsburgh.
Aww.
I had so many choices. Like, not even just the main, like, oh, your Pizza Hut or your Domino's. There were so many local places all over the place that I could just order from, so I got to try new things. I have like almost no options here.
Yeah.
Do I want chain restaurant number 1 or chain restaurant number 4? That's all I have.
And that's pretty much your options there.
I tried to venture out into like local ones, and it was like this, which is a weird combination, is a Greek restaurant that made pizza.
Okay.
So I'm like, sure, I'll try them out. It's local. It's not a chain. I want to try that out. I got this like cheese and garlic pizza thing, which sounds amazing. And I get back home, open it up, I'm eating it, and there's these giant, the garlic part, they didn't chop up the garlic. It was giant cloves of garlic.
Like full cloves of garlic.
Full cloves.
Ew.
That they just put on the pizza and cooked.
How? Wow.
And it wasn't until I got through like 2 slices that I noticed the bumps, and I'm like, what are these things that I'm eating? So I peeled one off and I ate it, and that's when I just got that pure, just 100% garlic in my mouth. I'm like, I'm gonna be sick. Like, this is way too much garlic for pizza. So I miss that. I miss the options of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, for here, it's more sushi and teriyaki places that are opening up more.
Sushi, teriyaki, and coffee places. Those are your main.
Yeah. You think Seattle, you think coffee. It's pretty standard.
But like talking about like stolen stuff. On top of eggs being stolen, people also stole $1 million worth of olive oil.
How?
Yeah. Yeah.
just how?
But okay, not even that. You bring up the how for this, but you didn't even ask about the eggs. Think about how many eggs 100,000 is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm thinking of now too, of like how much planning and how much like coordination did all that have to take before you even went down there to do it?
Was it 5 people running back and forth from the car to the farm, grabbing as many as they could? 100,000, that's a lot of eggs.
That's a lot, yeah.
I don't know how you're coordinating that to just easily transport that many eggs.
Or like, without even going unnoticed either until like
the next
day, yeah.
Because you couldn't even fit that into one standard car. You'd have to have like multiple cars.
Or a giant truck.
This is true.
Because even like the articles don't even get into specifics of how it happened.
They probably don't want to give away too much. Like,
we're not letting this happen again.
But yeah, this is the same thing of like, this was 100 pallets of olive oil. 100 pallets. You would have to have a forklift. Logistically, this makes no sense of how you can steal this much.
Yeah, really. So, reading the article, it's like, it was supposed to go somewhere and people just stole the truck.
Oh, was that it?
It was like loaded up to go to a client in Montreal, and that truck did not arrive to that said location.
And this was going for $1 million. I was not aware that olive oil was that expensive.
Yeah, really.
This explains why people are going for food and not banks anymore. Like, this is the easier option for more money.
I guess, yeah. I mean, especially now where it's like so heavily in demand that people will pay anything for it. If I have an egg, okay, say I have like a half dozen eggs.
Yes.
I can sell that shit for like $10.
I actually, yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because the guy I met at the airport leaving Seattle, he was talking about how he lives up in Alaska and they own like a dozen chickens or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a point where they ran out of eggs in the town because there's like in Alaska, you only have a small town of people and that's it.
Right.
That because they ran out of eggs, everyone was coming to him to buy eggs because he was the only person in the entire town that had chickens.
Interesting.
That's a good way to make your money.
I guess, yeah.
But okay, you steal the truck. What do you do with the oil after that? Is there a black market for olive oil?
Probably. I feel like there's a black market for anything.
That's what we're learning through this show.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
We're just slowly uncovering what is involved with the black market.
It's funny though too, because the last sentence of this article is organized crime tends to look at those products more seriously because then they recognize most people know that these products are expensive and it would be easier to find a black market for these products.
How?
So they are selling it on the black market.
How?
But how? Why are we the dumb ones here and other people, everybody else knows how to access this black market?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, you don't know where that is. You just go down the street and turn right. It's right there. It's like, what? How do you know this?
Is it time? I think it may be time that we start dabbling into that.
You want to dabble into the black market?
Not for like sketchy shit, but more like food and supplies.
What does that even look like? Oh no, we're just here to look. Don't worry about us. That's
why you call the police and give them your IP address and then go online. So if they catch you, it's like, okay, we already know they're doing this.
Just a heads up, I'm going to be doing a lot of research for black markets, but I'm not going to actually do anything.
I just want to know. I mean, that's what BuzzFeed did.
What?
When they went onto the dark web. You have to have like an IP address, right?
Sure. I don't know how that works, but okay.
And if you access the dark web, it like the police have like these devices that could tell like which IP address is accessing the dark web. So that's what they did of like, hey, just a heads up, this is our IP address. We're going to be going onto the dark web. This is purely for like educational research purposes for a video. We're not going to do anything on it. So don't arrest us.
But that's the thing. I've went on the dark web before. And like getting
okay, hang out before you even go further with that. Questions: 1, why?
Just to see.
2, how? Without flagging anybody that you're doing this.
It's not illegal to go on it.
No, but it's like
it's the things you do if you're on it that are become illegal.
Exactly. So then, say because if you go on there for the first time, you don't know what you're doing. So what if you fuck up?
No. That's the thing is that you find out very quickly going onto the dark web of like, you can't accidentally do something.
Okay.
Like there are like the instant I get on, there's things like, oh, buy weapons here, or here's where you can go buy drugs. I'm like, what the fuck am I in right now? There's this one thing I went on. It is like, oh yeah, buy a bank card thing for like X amount of money, and then you can go to an ATM and pull money out of the ATM with this card.
How?
That's the thing is like, I'm like, this seems way too easy. And like, there's a booby trap by clicking on this.
And the FBI is just waiting on the other side.
They're like, his mouse is moving closer to that. Like, what is it? It just felt way too simple that it was like, this clearly has to be a trap.
Yeah.
So I was on that same day of going onto the dark web. I'm like, okay, uninstalling because this is.
Oh, you had to install a Tor for that, right?
Yeah. So with it being that simple, just to see that stuff, which may or may not be a trap, what more is involved into that you really have to know what you're doing to even find?
Yeah, true.
So there's a reason why people don't really go on it that much.
Unless it's for eggs.
Yeah.
Could you imagine now, like, going on the dark web? Like you said, there's like a section for weapons and drugs. Buy eggs here.
We just start our own, like, eggs.onion. That's all it is. You just go to the thing and it's just a picture of a chicken and just like click to buy your eggs.
Buy it from this specific chicken.
This is Henrietta.
I was just gonna say Henrietta. She is brown. She gives good eggs.
I don't get how this is, because like you steal the olive oil. Now you gotta move 100 pallets of olive oil. Where do you put it? Where do you store it? How do you... Honestly, that might be easier to sell than money.
Olive oil?
Whenever someone robs a bank and you have all that money, you need to... Like, they understand, oh, these serial numbers of bills are the ones that are stolen.
Right.
So that's why you had to go through a laundering service to exchange the bad serial numbers with clean serial numbers. With olive oil, you're fine, right? Like, there's no tracing, like, oh, here's that bottle that was stolen. Or are they using the UPC number?
Well, like, because even UPC numbers are the same depending on the store.
Oh, they are, yeah.
So it's like, how much harder would that be to track?
I think that's why they're doing this. Like between the olive oil, between the eggs, you can't trace them. They're being sold illegally because you're just selling olive oil and eggs.
Exactly, yeah. We should get on this.
This generation's finding the loopholes to robbing things. Stay away from banks. This is just food now.
Cheese is next.
Cheese. Well, because the olive oil is from Canada, I feel like next is maple syrup.
Wasn't that a thing?
Was it really?
There was a thing. I remember hearing about it, and I don't remember what year it was from. Maybe it was like a while back, but there was a maple syrup heist.
That's kind of funny, actually.
The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist was in 2011.
That wasn't that long ago.
No. It was 3,000 tons of maple syrup valued at $18.7 million Canadian.
Wait, how much million?
18.7 in 2011 is 24 million in 2023.
Oh, wow. Right now, that's only 13 million in US dollars. How does the Canada have a bigger rate than us?
The exchange rate is fucked up right now.
Have we ever talked about that? Our plan of what we wanted to do?
Let's not put it out there for people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one we probably have to hold on to.
That's our secret that we'll never tell. XOXO Gossip Girl.
You've been referencing that so much lately. Is this a show you've been watching?
Not been watching. I've watched it.
Oh.
But it's a very popular show.
I've only seen like a few episodes. I don't know anything about it.
It's where the what you say meme has become a thing. That's the show that it originated off of.
And it has Cindy Who from Whoville, Dr. Seuss little girl. What's her name?
Taylor Momsen?
Yes.
Cindy Who little girl. From Whoville.
That's all I know about it. She's in that and she's in a band and I can't remember the band's name.
I can't remember the band's name either.
The Pretty Reckless.
Is it?
I think so, yeah. That's the beginning and end of what I know about Gossip Girl.
So yeah, I mean, can we steal and sell stuff like this?
It goes back, it feels like it's simpler from like other articles that we've covered of like the tarantulas or what was the other thing that someone stole?
Turtles.
Olive oil and eggs or maple syrup sound easier or the easiest thing to like pass off to someone else.
I guess, yeah.
But I think, how do you even begin that process? Because again, we're not thinking about the quantity of these things.
No. We just see the number and just say, oh, that's a giant ass number.
Because how much was the maple syrup?
3,000 tons.
3,000 tons. Oh my god. Like, where are you storing this? How did you even steal that much? That's like a tanker truck of maple syrup.
So I'm looking this up on Wikipedia. It's over the course of several months between 2011 and 2012, the contents of 9,571 barrels were stolen, suspected as an insider job from a facility. The thieves used trucks to transport barrels to a remote sugar shack where they siphoned off the maple syrup and refilled the barrels with water and then returned them to the facility. So that's an even longer process than just stealing the shit.
Yeah, I mean, smarter. I want to see a movie based off of this now.
Yeah, really.
But at the same time, it's like, sure, you got that, but how are you storing the things you stole? Like, you're now creating this whole other process of like taking it, putting it into containers, but boxing it all up, and then you gotta like, that's a whole second job you're doing.
Yeah, so they're basically like bottling them up and then trucking them down into America.
This is insanity.
I want to see this movie.
It blows my mind at how big of a number these things are, and like people are just able to get away with it. Well, I guess not, because they were probably caught, right?
They're able to get away with it for a certain amount of time.
You just need to like do your thing and just move on and don't do it again.
Yeah, really.
But it just makes me wonder, like, is this just gonna be the normal now of like, oh, this was stolen? Like,
I'm like, oh, cool, okay. And what's next?
What is the next thing to be stolen? Because even in the article for the olive oil, they said that it's not the first time this has happened. So apparently olive oil is like a thing that people always
Commodity.
go for.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense considering it's like imported.
That is true. And if you've ever been to the store, you realize how expensive that shit is.
Yes.
I just feel like over the course of doing this show, we have learned so much about the criminal world. And that's like...
Will that turn us into criminals?
No, because we don't understand the process. We just understand the stealing part. We don't know how to deal with it afterwards.
Or before.
What do it?
Like, how do you come up with all the logistics?
Exactly.
Of even, like, getting it done?
I could understand stealing one bottle of maple syrup, but to steal 3,000 tons is just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that where, like, you're driving down the road?
Have you ever done that? Like, what, stealing?
Yeah. Have you ever driven down the road?
Oh, yes, I have. Thank you.
Have you ever been following behind a bank truck, like an armored truck?
Yes.
And you just think, like, how easy would it be to get into this right now and steal all that money?
So on the street I lived in San Francisco, there was like banks on every corner, and every like Monday or whatever, there would be like armored trucks on each street, opened, unlocked. And it's just like, how are you guys just leaving this unlocked and open and going inside?
I'm sure there's a reason or something.
I mean, it's all secure inside as well anyway.
True.
But it's like, how well do you trust the public to just leave this shit open?
I always have like fantasies, or not fantasies, but daydreams of coming up with the perfect heist to like somehow get my own armored truck and like trick a bank into giving me the money to put into my truck and then like driving up.
You can write a movie.
Yeah, there's one on a list I sent you that kind of deals with that. It's really good.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, well, we just talked about stealing things for an hour. Pretty much. So
pretty much.
It's time for us to go. If you like that episode, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Go follow our YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at...
Wow.
I was doing so well for so long.
Back on this bullshit.
Go follow our YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Intersint Pod, and we will see you next week.
Bye. Idiot.